So, looking at her face, I want to pay you attention, as I said, on her mid-face, and look at that curve. And look at the other side. She's pretty flat. As she's Brazilian, but I think she would profit on some kind of lift on her lateral upper part of the cheek, combined with a little enhancement of the frontal projection of her cheek. So I'd like to encourage you, go indication specific. Look at what the patient shows and try to imitate and try to kind of make a preview on what you can give her. So if ever this action affects something, a filler, a collagen stimulating filler such as the élancé makes sense to enhance, reposition the OG curve. And this does not only encounter the lateral part of the upper cheek, but the frontal, because we all sag, we all tend to sag, and to get this groove on the malar area. She would certainly be perfect for silhouette too, because silhouette does reposition the tissues, does give this kind not only lift, but as you know, these threads, they do push together and therefore enhance the frontal projection, and on the other side they give a traction, a sustained one, so to lift the lateral upper part of her face. But that's not the objective here. I think I will GPS you a bit through the mid-face here, and I will draw some lines in order to show you the ideal technique for that indication. So first indication is the sag. Could you higher the camera, please? So that the view should be a bit more from the upside view. So the first entry point will be on the zygoma. So the zygoma displays in between my fingers here, and I will mark you the upper and the lower part. And the second area, second entry point, because I try to downsize the number of my entry points. The second one is found like that. Line from the lateral margin of the orbit, and where this line crosses the one which comes from mid-mentum, crossing the corner of the mouth. And in her, this area already is the one of the highest projection. So she would not need that much on this, but this first entry point gives me the kind of the idea on how to go later, because I will use, where's my other pen? I will use this one to identify the next ones in a banana-wise way. So I think I will do one here, might be one here. And the first entry point will be on the zygoma, in between the upper and the lower part. And I will use a blunt tip cannula 38 millimeters, and to see whether that injection point, entry point is right, I do measure the length of the cannula. So I will be pretty fine in doing retrograde fashion-wise threads on her lateral upper part to redefinition the OG curve on the upper part, and it might be that I can only do a little bolus and even advance a bit and do another little bolus with the same cannula, and we'll have the frontal projection then here. If that does not work, I will go with the second and third, bolus-wise injection with the needle. I wanted to drop a little word on why élancé, why here. Élancé is a very different filler. You saw a lot of presentations on hyaluronic acid already. Hyaluronic acid is wonderful, but in certain indications, élancé does really make sense in terms of sustained effect through collagen stimulation and a very natural volumization. I think, and Dr. Hong has great data on that, is he did a forehead study on his Asian patients. This filler displays somehow the same kind of G as the skin and the subdermal, or not, more or less the subdermal structures do, because it does not feel. It does not feel hard either to inject, it's easy extrudable, and it does not feel in the face. And I can only tell stories about my patients. One said, listen, this makes me smile far more natural. The other stuff I did still feel. So that is an aspect we have to go more into to find the science there. But these are the reasons why I do use this volumizer, and this is another big issue, a volume over time which you can rely on. So these are the reasons why, for example, in the mid-phase, élancé, polycaprolactone makes sense. So life is about combination, about combining therapies. I'd like to take you with me now to zoom down to one technique for élancé for the mid-phase. But as Dr. Hong said, it's about like building a house. I do try to make my patients understand that they need to go for specific, well-working therapies, but they have to understand that it's an ongoing process. Okay, so look right, please.
Sabine,
Yes?
you have 20 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect.
And you are a woman, so you are multitasking. So what I suggest is that during your performance, that I know is perfect, maybe we can use the time to do some question.
Sure, you can always ask me. I'm
so
happy
we use you.
Use me, Franco.
Wow. Remember, I'm Italian. Eh?
Okay.
Okay. Some question. Don't be shy.
So in between, I will keep on going working, Franco. I'm German. I need to do my job here. I did numb the first entry point in order to be kind to Eileen because we didn't have any numbing cream. Honestly, you don't really need it, but make your patient feel comfortable and safe. So first action is a 23 gauge sharp needle to tunnel the way. Go direction you're pointing at. So the objective here is to enhance the lifting and the volume of the lateral part of the upper cheek and the frontal part.
I have to say that I really love the correction of the cheekbones with élancé, because really you shape in a way that with no hyaluronic acid you can do. Hyaluronic acid as well. With this one you sculpt. And I come from the country of Michelangelo, so I like to sculpt.
And I love that kind of comparison to fat in terms of easiness of injection, as long as you're in the right layer. And
we have a question. Come on, the first one.
Please.
Okay. This question is for you, doctor. It's concerning when you said not to use élancé for the lower eyelids. What about the malar cheeks? I mean, the ridges between the lower eyelids and the depression or the hollow and the malar. Can you still adjust the lower eyelid by adjusting the malar fat?
You can. Now, Franco, do you want to answer
Sure,
that?
you can, because you are not in the lids. Lids, it means lids. Lids. Yeah. You must stay deep. You must, yeah. You must stay deep. You must stay where you have some some tissue. Pay attention, tear trough, not. Tear trough is an off-label indication. My suggestion, because I know when we do the training, I think for Ong is the same, for Sabine too, all the doctors try to do the most difficult things. No. Start to know the product. This is really a great product, but it's very safe. It's very simple if you use it in the right way. So the first step is to use it a deep, small amount, and explain to your patient that the biggest result, the greater correction, is after 2-3 months.
Franco, I wanted to catch your word deep. So what I did here is I pinched the skin and advanced the cannula and controlled the tip.
Perfect.
And
so Sabine, show you where you have to stay.
So deep. I do turn the bevel down. This is a TSK Steriglide cannula which has a marking on the hub. So once you turn it down, you know that the opening of the cannula is facing down. So I try to be as deep as I can. I can't really touch the bone with the cannula, but I kind of, well, I can't touch it like in a direct way, like with a needle, like I would do with a needle, but I feel that I'm on the bone and control the tip. And then now I do bolus. Pay attention.
Try to lift the tip of the cannula so they see, because...
try to focus here on the highest. So her highest cheek point was here, but I want to enhance the frontal projection. So what I'm doing here now is I do stay here, tip is here, and I do put a bolus of a 0.1, and that's the 0.2 now. So you might see just where the little mole is here, the skin is lifting, or the structures are lifting up, and now I draw all along the OG curve to give her a better shape and lift. And while I'm talking and withdrawing the cannula, I do inject another mil, a 0.1 mil, sorry. Next step, again, pinch, and then I can do that without the pin, because I did pre-pinch already, so I know that I'm the right layer. And then you withdraw, and you might see that the jawline is already building up. She's young. I don't want to give her too much of the élancé because I fear an overcorrection after 3 to 6 months. That can really happen.
Hello?
And I know what I'm talking about. One of the most advanced experts in the world, Dr. Nicolau.
Just a moment, please. Thank you for your nice presentation. Franco, I want to know, maybe my question is not so logical from your point of view, but I want interested to know, is it possible to mix this kind of filler with hyaluronic acid in one syringe? It's not possible?
No. It's not possible because you change the viscosity of the gel carrier. If you change the viscosity of the gel carrier, you have not the scaffold effect, so you don't create collagen. If you are lucky, you don't create collagen. If you are not lucky, you create a nodule. So after, there is no reason. If you want, you can work in the same area. For example, sometimes you can work deep with this one. You can use an hyaluronic acid to work very superficial for the touch-up. But my suggestion at the beginning is use it, wait, explain to your patient that is an elegant way, and after. This is. In this area is fantastic.
Dr. Franco, I've got a question, if you don't mind. Yep, okay. You've explained very nicely the sequence of different treatments as far as botulinum toxin, hyaluronic acid, and energy devices. But if I want your point of view of if you're doing the same treatment, let's say you're using hyaluronic acid, but several areas in the face, what sequence would you advise? If someone comes in who wants a cheek, nasolabial, nose, and chin, how would you sequence that to assess it the best way? For me, the sequence is when you create a building, you start from the basis, from the basement. So the first step, you work with a lancet and you work deep. You create. After, you
you build your building working with the hyaluronic acid over all around. This is for me. I don't know, Hong. When you combine hyaluronic acid and LNC, which one you used before?
Okay, because of two reasons, as I speak. Because of the volume, the lancet lasts much longer than HA, so I need to do something last longer first, so I put the lancet first. And I usually put the lancet in deep layer, so I put the lancet first and then do the adjustment with HA. So it's my usual sequence.
Same opinion. Okay. No, say.
I think we do the. I can comment on what I did right now, but I would like to take the after pictures.
Nice. You should
because
see.
Quantificer is so kind to provide us with that service. We took the before the session, obviously, and I think we do the split face Quantificer now, and I will continue later. So just keep on with discussing. What I did is. I did two.
So Sabi, how much volume you put?
I did put 0.7.
0.7.
And what I did is I did the effect and lateral lift with the canula treatment, starting from that mid-zygoma entry point. And I did, like this banana-wise, two gun, I don't like that word, but it typically says what we do, gunshot-wise technique direct to bone in medial of the cheek apex point of the highest projection she already has. So
can we do this procedure? Do you know? Can you tell me? Can you tell us how you evaluate the how will you decide the entry point?
As I tried to explain to I for the lateral part, I do go as lateral as the final redefinition of the OG curve has to be, and then I choose my equipment, in this case a 25 and a 38 millimeter canula, so I can reach up to the frontal part, and as I'm there, as I did here, I did bolus with this canula, and then I did enhance the treatment with another two little boli of élancé with a sharp needle. I do that again on the other side.
It's a very nice result, Sabine, for me, right? Because with 0.7 to correct in a round face, in a heavy face like this, is not so easy. Usually, to create a shape, we have to put a lot. 0.7, it means that after 2-3 months, I can expect as I injected 0.9, and not as a swelling, but as a molding. Is a reshaping.
Any questions to the technique?
Sabine, somebody of our colleagues asked you if you can repeat the choice of the entry point.
Sure. Okay. So the first entry point to affect the lateral lift is mid-zygoma. So I choose the point exactly in the middle of the upper and the lower margin of the zygoma. Okay? Second, I will show later once I'm done. Now the hold close-up. I didn't need the needle again, please.
Isn't there any worry about running of the facial artery and the nerve at that point?
No, the facial nerve runs lateral, and there's practically no major vessel running here. Okay, now I advance. See the subcision wise, I go deep now. I advance the tip to kind of control the tip. Once I lift it up, you can see where it is, and I go down and I bolus here now for, let's say, a 0.1. And I do with
the nerve is over the bone, so
and
it's
do
deep.
you see? I can see that clearly here. The product shows up. lifts up very precisely, even though it's such a soft and powerful filler. I need a second one now.
Could you use the Elancy in the depression scars of acne, like
You saw
under
that
the skin? But
you were very
the
attentive.
bolus?
You saw that I choose that entry point for my bolus. I would not go into the scar, but under the scar and try to lift it up that way.
Yeah,
But
you
it's not a treatment for treating scars in a intradermally. That's difficult, I guess, or certainly not an approved therapy. Once I want to go deep, I sometimes have to pinch. I do that way in order to make you see something. I don't pinch now. Look at the reflection of the light. You might see that there is another, a new accentuation of her curve.
So you put the filler in lateral soup?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I do cross a lot of different anatomical layers.
Yeah.
So I think I'm the deepest on the frontal part.
Yeah.
And the more lateral, but always subdermal. That is really important on the lateral part. Okay, so next step would be, and I will define the next entry point again for you. Next entry point is the one. Can you see that now? This is the reflection of the light, which is different to what it has been. So this is a precise lifting.
Yeah, you really
And
sculpt.
Yeah, and it's, as if you know, fan your hands, this is more predictable because it doesn't kind of scratch away. It is really very nice. It stays, as Franco said, where it has been placed. So second entry point, but there are many ways to go to Rome, Franco, aren't there? But I choose this one, lateral orbit, and then where these lines cross, the one from the mentum and the corner of the mouth.
Sabine, another question.
The highest point.
They ask if in this case you used lidocaine.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure,
and,
we did it as you
usually
teached
use
us.
lidocaine or not?
Absolutely. We did it as you teached us now.
Yeah.
20% lidocaine, 1%, and a 1 ml of 1 cc of an élancé. I put another.
Remember the law of the
now?
0.2, no more than 0.2.
Right. And another one. I do withdraw to see whether there's any, I hit any vessel, but in that area, thanks God, there is none. And this is
One question.
how she will be done, I think.
When you inject directly over the bone, do you also only inject 0.2, or do you can inject more
0.1
quantity?
to 2, never more than that.
Never
on
more.
one
Also,
point.
when you stay near the bone, if you inject more than 0.2, you have a very strong collagen stimulation, and you create not maybe a nodule, but
and
you can inject small boluses near.
So
and
we
you
have
create
another
the same
5 minutes. I
effect.
hope that quantifier does this great job. Aurore is running like crazy. But what I will do now, I will give her a nice little sweet look here after one little injection on her corner of the mouth to make lift up the corner. Look how easy that is. It simply goes up in putting the material very slowly in here. See that? And this is honestly, that's another area where élancé is very nice to me, because it on the long term, and we all have these patients coming back several times over the years, it will not create the telangiectasia, so redness. It is simply stimulating the collagen here. Same to this side.
And as Sabina told before, you don't feel the filler under the skin. So
Yeah,
it's very soft. It's difficult. You cannot feel like the presence of something or strange. It just stay inside the tissue, and it act like the tissue. So it's very important.
Okay. What about Aurore Quantificaire? Are they ready to put the before-after split face on stage here, on camera? Can you open your mouth? What I always do is I just go over the area. I didn't check.
Another question.
Never use these fingers to touch.
Thank you for your nice presentation. Have you ever experienced any permanent side effect with Elance?
Never.
And will you compare Elance and hyaluronic acid fillers on the aspect of side effects, especially permanent ones?
Listen,
thank you.
I did inject Radius since 2005, and at that time Elance was already on the market, and the company can tell how resistant I was to switch on Elance because we didn't have a good data there, and I'm very critical. I need safe concepts, safe products, and that's it. So first is choose the right product. No, yeah, but I can't afford any side effect, okay? So lucky me, I didn't have real ones, just the injection-related ones to all the fillers, but Elance, no, even no lump, no overcorrection, but I'm very careful. I do a 0.1 per action. I look what I do. I watch the patient. I do call them back after some weeks to check, and then I give eventually more, but I don't do that in one session. And second, it's not all about the product. Come on, it's really about us guys, our hands, whether we do that with precaution and whether we take care of our patients as we would do in our faces. So that's, I think, key.
I think that a lot of side effects are mistake of doctors. We must be clear. So it's very easy to say that they are the product. The most of the side effects are our mistakes. But we have not reported permanent side effect with
So we did the left side of Eileen here. And can you image the volume we did? Okay, that doesn't work in this case. Okay, we'll do that later, I hope. But then we could zoom back again. Oh, you shouldn't do that on your own. Could you sit up, please, and look to the camera? So we will assess the patient again. Can you put the patient on screen again, please? So.
Nice. This is a result I like it because it is a soft result. Maybe I don't like.
Can you see? Can you see how the OG curve displays now? How we can see a nice curving and shaping of this face. She's beautiful, but she doesn't have this kind of bony architecture, which gives her the curves. So, but when she puts on a blush now or a contouring, whatever, she doing like that, she can accentuate that even more, and that will show. And look at the corner of the mouth; it looks just friendly and natural. And same to this side. So she will have a great support with Elance over the next, I'd say, 1.5 to 2 years. And we'll have this natural look, which doesn't kind of blow up tomorrow and go down after 3 to 4 months, because she's young.